What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this KYLIAN MBAPPE poster. Now this is a great edit, great things to learn. We've got a few updates for the editing style and everything, so I hope you enjoy all the new things we've added to the channel. I've changed the banner, I've changed the profile picture, so we've got a complete rework. Hopefully everything seems a bit more together now and a bit more consistent. If you like the video, give it a like. If you want to see more of this content, subscribe and let me know in the comments down below. But let's get straight into the video. Welcome back to the video. Now let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is make our document, same as always, 1080 by 1350, Instagram standard, to post on Instagram obviously. So you got your background. Now the first thing we're going to do is select a solid color. So go down to your your blending options, and you can get a solid color down here on the adjustment layers, solid color. And then we're going to pick this pink. So this pink is going to be the background layer, like the main color we used really. So it's going to be FF2085. So that's what you need for that. And now you've already started the background. So we've got our background color. Now what we're going to do is select the pen tool and make sure it's selected on shape. And we're just going to draw in another background layer, sort of. It's going to be like a harsh angle, like so. So like that. Can you see that? That's good. So we want it angled, so we're going to put the heading on this angle, and then basically we're going to build it around this background layer. So that's the background done. Now we need to move on to adding some textures. So make sure you download the texture pack, which is in the link below, and then you'll basically have all the textures that you need. So we'll go to that now. Okay guys, so I'm in the texture pack here. So what you're going to need to do is turn on your textures down below, turn off the thank you for downloading, and you can get texture number 2. So if we drag and drop this in, what we're going to see is a nice particle effect, basically. Just wait for my computer to load. And basically what we're going to do is enlarge it so it's big enough, bigger than the whole document, position it in the center, and click OK. Now we're going to change the blending option to exclusion, and we're going to reduce this down to 40%. There we go. So it's really light and it doesn't really affect the document too much. So we've got that in place. Now what we're going to do is basically add in some more textures and some more images. Okay, so let's go back to our textures layer, get this paper layer, so drag and drop this one in, then we're going to move this one into position again, and just change the blending mode to multiply so it has this nice paper effect on the back of the poster. So that's all done, don't need to worry about that now. That's the background all done. So now we've got a pavement texture here which you can bring in just so you don't have to drag it in later. Position it obviously in the middle of the document again, but you can just turn it off for now because we don't need it yet. So what we're going to do now is get some circle layers. So get your circle tool here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the top right here, and we're going to just select a grey colour, and we're just going to draw a circle like so. Now you don't want it on the fill, you want it on the strokes. So if we do that, and we're going to just duplicate this and basically just add them in like this. So duplicate it again, and one more. We can make these a bit smaller just to make it look a bit neater on the design, but make sure they're centered in, and we're going to Command J when we select all of them, and we're just going to duplicate them across. Now we can group these together and call them circles. There we go, that's nice. And then we're just going to move into the corner a bit more, and we're going to change this to soft light. Change that to soft light. Now we can change the color of them if you do not like them, because they're too dark obviously, and we'll just change it to a dark blue so it's really subtle on the design. So that's what we need to do. Okay guys, so once we've placed the images, what we're going to need to do is get the once we've placed the circle, we're going to need to get the images. So go back to your texture pack basically, and then we're just going to turn off the textures because we've already got those, and then we're going to turn the images on. Now the first 3, which go back image, right and left, are going to be obviously in the background, and then the front image is going to be the one that is going to be in the front. It's going to be the main bit of the design. So if we select all the bottom 3, and we're just going to drag and drop them in. As you can see, they're already pretty much positioned where they should be. If you just sort of center align them, we're just going to put them there. That will be good. We're just going to increase the size of this blue a little bit, just so there's less pink, something like that. That looks good. And now what we're going to do, we can turn the front 2 layers off, and we're just going to start layer masking the images out. So get a soft brush as big as you want. You can leave the opacity, and we're just going to start layer masking some of him out. just so that we can get the heading in, basically. We can turn these layers on, and we're going to need to layer mask these guys as well, because they're just going to be in the way otherwise. We'll have them about something like that. Now, don't take away too much though, because you still want them in the image, obviously. So we're going to layer mask him. There we go. And now that's pretty much standard and good for what the poster needs to be. So we're going to draw a heading in here. So if we get our text tool and we select the impact font, I will leave a link down below for this. And we just type Mbappe and just make that a little bit bigger. If I just change the color of this for one and make it a bit bigger again, it's going to need to be placed along the line, guys. So it's got to be on the line, centered just right, otherwise it'll look stupid. So you can zoom in for this just to make it a little bit easier on yourself. That's pretty dead on. Change it to pink. Now it doesn't look good at the moment, I can see that, but what we're going to do next is basically we're going to make sure that all these images are in a group actually. So these are going to be the back images. We're going to move these below the Mbappe text, and then what we're going to do is duplicate this Mbappe text. So duplicate it, and then we're going to just reduce the fill on this one to 0. Then we're going to double click and get the stroke layer. So what we want is a pink stroke again, and we're going to set this to a 2 stroke. And then what we're going to do is going to go to our last layer we just made, create a layer mask, and we're going to get a hard brush, and we're going to go and just paint away like a few of the letters. Now you can pick which ones you want. I've picked these ones just because I think they fit the best. So if you just go down, do that, there we go, that looks good. Now what we've got is a nice little design here. So the back images are a bit off-centered, I think, so I'm going to move them across a little bit more, just so they're a bit more like in the design, I guess you could say, because they just look a bit too far over. So something like that. You can obviously play around with this in your own time, but I'm going to try to do this as quick as I can for you guys. So what we need to do next is we can group this text together. So this is going to be the heading, and we can move this below the texture if we want it, but then obviously it goes behind the images. But we've got our pavement texture here, so we can turn this one on, bring everything below, and then what we're going to do is change this to maybe maybe a color dodge. Yeah, color dodge looks good, doesn't add too much texture, and we can reduce this down a little bit if we feel it's too harsh. But yeah, that's pretty good. Now as you can see, the design is already starting to come together. Now if you feel the layer masking out that you've done is too harsh, you can just go back in, get a soft brush again, and change your thing to your color to white, and just start painting something back in. So like that. It's pretty simple, nothing too major. But obviously if you don't want to layer mask anything back in, then leave it. But that's pretty good for now. That helps with finding out where the texture is and basically positioning it better. So what we're going to do now is add our last image in. So this can be the front image. Now this one we're going to do a little bit of work with. We're going to position him about here, make sure he's big and bold in front of the design, and then what we're going to do is get a shadow layer. Now we can reduce him a little bit if we find he's too big, and what we're going to do is get a layer below him. Now this is going to be called shadow. Make sure you name your layers, guys, because it just makes it a lot easier for when you're working, when you're looking for a layer and basically trying to find out which one's which. And then we're just going to get our brush, make it really thin like this up here, select a black color, and then what we're going to do is just create a nice little shadow. Again, nice little shadow, and then one for the ball, I guess, as well. That's nice. Now we can reduce the opacity as well, down to about 80, so it's not too harsh, and then I've changed it to multiply just to make it darker. So we've got that. Now what we're going to do is duplicate this layer again, then I'm going to go onto the first layer, Command T, then I'm going to distort, and as you can see, I'm just going to bring it down like so. We're just going to create that illusion that there is a shadow there. Position it basically in the right areas, so it's like that. There we go. That's really good. And then what we're going to do is reduce the opacity of this to about 50% for now. And then just so we can still see it. And then we're going to go to Filter, Blur, and then we're going to go to, we can go to Motion Blur. Yeah, we'll go Motion Blur with this one. And just change it to about 40 to 50 is good. Then we can reduce it down a little bit more in opacity as well to about 30%, just so that it creates that illusion that there is a shadow there on like a glass floor or something like that. I'm going to reduce it down to 20% because it's meant to be really subtle, and that looks perfect to me. Got all our heading, our text, and we've got our images in. We've got our Mbappe in the front. So what we need to do next is add in some text along the left side. We need to add a number 7 down here. So let's do the number 7 first. Now, get your text tool, select the blue color, which is going to be 001677. We're just going to get a number 7. I'm going to make this quite big. Just make it quite big like that. There we go. You can make it a little bit smaller than that. So something like that. That looks good. Reduce the fill of it, and then we're going to give it a stroke. There we go. And select that blue color again. That looks good. Now we're going to get our text layer again, and we're going to type number. Now this time it's going to go alongside the 7 on its side. So position it along the top of the 7. Make it as big. There we go. Number 7. That looks really good. All done for that bit. Now what we're going to do is add some KYLIAN Mbappes down the side here. So let's just get our type tool. KYLIAN Mbappe. There we go, that's good.
A few moments later.
So you can make this white just so you can see it a little bit easier for now, which is probably what I'm going to do. Just change it to white because it just makes it so much easier to work with. Command J. Then we're just gonna, you know the process for this. We've done it so many times on the videos, but it just looks so good. That's why I keep doing it. If we just Command J these and then Command T. If something looks good, you don't need to change it. Basically, that's why I reuse stuff that I haven't used, like I use in other videos. Because basically, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. So that's the reason for reusing stuff. So let's get that, group that together. Left side text. And then we're just going to change this to a soft light, I think. Now, we can change the color of this now to a dark blue so that it matches these circles. So if we highlight all of the text, then we just change it to that color. There we go. It's nice and dark along the side, not too harsh. When we use the camera or filter, you will be able to see it better. As you can see, we've pretty much created the poster design. Nothing really more to do apart from add a camera or filter. We've added in all the text. Apart from, actually, there is one more thing we need to do that I'm forgetting. We need to add in some nice little headings. So if I just type PSG here, I'm going to change this to white. Now I will need to get my rectangle tool, change this to black, and then we're going to just, actually we can change it to a dark grey, real dark grey. So I'll just let you know which colour this is. So it's going to be 17, 1B, 1E. Then we're just going to basically go over the top. Why are these curved in? Anyway, go over the top of that text and change this to white again, sorry. I don't know why it's changed to the same grey. So just bring it to white and then make a nice little box around it. So now that we've got these two together, we can center them, and then we're just going to convert to a smart object. So they're together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make them a little bit bigger, and we're just going to position them where we want. So you can put these wherever you want. I'm going to put them where I had them on the previous design. So if I just get League 1. Oh, what have we done? Just leave that alone. Sorry, guys. Let's get League 1. There we go. Change that to white. And then move it above all of this nonsense. And then we can get a nice little box around it again. I don't know why I've got the circular box on because it's really annoying. Anyway, let's do that. Position them, align them. There we go. Convert to a smart object. Now we can just make it a little bit bigger. Now with this one, I'm going to put it underneath his arm here. So you're going to need to find your images basically, like so. Put it underneath. There we go. That looks good. And then the France one, I'm just going to put on the top right. Right, let's just get the rectangle tool and let's hopefully not have a curved. Okay, it's still curved. Right, that's just great, isn't it? Basically, we need to move that above that and then align them again, and then we're pretty much done, guys. So these can all be different sizes. It doesn't really matter what size they are, as long as you can sort of read them. Don't need to be too legible. But let's move this above or behind these images. Just Command T that. Move it out a little bit more just so you can see it a bit better. That looks really nice, guys. It's pretty much the same poster. I'm just going to add a camera or filter now. So if I just select all of this, group it all together, basically unlock that one, and then you can group them all together. And then we're just going to go Command Shift Option E, make a screen grab, filter, camera or filter. Let's get straight into the camera or filter phase. Okay guys, so we're in the camera or filter phase. This is where the design comes to life. So what we're going to do is add a little bit more blue. Basically, we're going to increase the exposure, increase the contrast. Highlights, you can increase a little bit. Shadows, just play around with those. I usually keep them around 14, 15 either side. And then texture increase, clarity definitely increase, and then saturation you can bring up as well, depending on how saturated you want the image. Don't do it too much because you're gonna get a weird haze on that image. You can play around with the curves a little bit. I didn't really do this too much in the first design because I wanted to keep it quite simple. Sharpening, definitely. You're definitely going to want to sharpen the image. Noise reduction, you can a little bit if you want to. Color mixer, again, play around with it. Do what you want with it. Color grading, I didn't touch for this design because it was really simple and minimal. So that's that. And then I added some grain, basically. So add a 30 grain. Looks really nice on the image. Add a nice vignette if you want to. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's the poster design. There's not too much to worry about with this design. Obviously, there's these that you can make look a bit more defined, the circles. But it's completely up to you, really, what you do. This is just a quick tutorial showing you how to make a basic, minimal poster. And I think it's turned out pretty nice. I like my design, and hopefully, if you guys make it yourself with your own players, you can tag me in it on Instagram and let me know how you got on with it. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm always listening and always looking and always replying. So, hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you next time.